Hello everyone. Today we need to talk about the future of classic World of Warcraft. Economy specifically. How Blizzard must design the economic foundation of a true Classic Plus. Let's be honest, something vital is missing in WoW Classic right now, and while it impacted the game as a whole, it hit the economy the hardest. We always talk about banning the bots, and we should absolutely keep pressuring Blizzard to do so. But we live in 2026, automation is everywhere. Bots dominate not only WoW, but Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, but every online game in existence. In World of Warcraft, botting functions like a digital switch-up. It floods the market with cheap labor, driving down prices so aggressively that normal players are forced to either copy their extreme efficiency or completely opt out of the market. As a human players, we cannot compete with machines. They don't need to sleep, eat, or step away from the keyboard. Before we look at how to fix this, we have to understand why this matters so deeply. Farming and gold currency are not just side activities. They are the vital lifeblood of any MMORPG. Gold is the connective tissue that links us to the world and to other players. It is the medium through which we interact, negotiate, and trade. Just like in the real world, a healthy currency gives tangible value to everything we do. It rewards our time, honors our effort, and keep every single activity in the game relevant. When your gold has true purchasing power, going out into the world feels meaningful. But Blizzard is facing a massive game design dilemma because classic WoW was built over 20 years ago. It was designed for an era before widespread, sophisticated automation. Take herb and mining nodes. For example, in classic, a resource has a tiny handful of fixed spawn, maybe 4 or 5 per area. For a human, that means memorizing a route. For a bot, it means a flawless and uninterrupted mathematical loop. Let me show you, for example. Here we have every node possible. So using graph theory, we can make the shortest path possible to clean this zone. And a bot can do that on repeat over and over and over. One bot, but let's say 100 bot, 200 bot, they can clean the whole game easily using graph theory and data. The data is open to everyone. You can have it through Gathermates, WoW Cartograph for the older people, or WoWhead. Anywhere you can have this data easily with no problem. So placing a 20 years old game framework into today's automated world, it is a fundamental mistake. If Blizzard built Classic Plus on this exact same framework, the exact same tragedy will repeat itself. Both will control every node, farm raw gold 24/7, choke out real player, and destroy the value of our time. Eventually, they will use their profit to automate complex tasks like market flipping, crafting shuffle, soloing dungeon, and even raiding and selling loot. Because when people buy gold from the bots, they won't spend all of their money, the people that use the bots, they won't spend all their money onto drinking or I don't know. But they will use some of it to protect themselves from bans and countering the Blizzard measure to ban them, and two, to invest in more powerful bots, more intelligent bots. So by people buying gold from them, we are making them stronger and stronger. And we're gonna reach a time, if this doesn't stop, we're gonna reach a point of no return. The bots will become too intelligent and they will take over everything. Bots absolutely love immovability. They thrive when the world never changed. So how do we fix it? We break the rules. We make the world dynamic. To save Classic Plus, Blizzard need to design the world using modern technology. We need mechanics that actively disrupt automated programming. Instead of static, predictable coordinates saved in a database, resource spawn should be managed by a live AI engine. But here's the trick, it must remain completely lore accurate and true to the spirit of Classic. Think about the lore of the world. For example, Fade Leaf is a plant that thrives in dark, shady, bushy areas. That's why Rock Stealth Potion use it, for example. Instead of spawning on a specific pixel, each time a modern AI engine should randomly spawn Fade Leaf anywhere a dark shadow fall in that zone, in any bush. Maybe some bushes that didn't have Fade Leaf before. But any shady dark place can have a Fade Leaf. Let's take Grum's Blood, for example. It grows where demonic blood has tainted the earth, so let it spawn dynamically across entire demon-infested region. Ghost Mushroom, for example, it's always in caves, so it can dynamically pop in random caves. So we won't be having this database because everything is constantly changing. according to the law. So we can't, for example, have an ice cap in Syrian Gorge or near Black Rock Mountain. It's not possible because it's not lore accurate. But we can have ice cap in any cold place or any mountain that contain ice, like Alterac, Winter Spring. I don't know other spots right now on the top of my head, but we can have that logic. Also, as player, we shouldn't know the exact coordinate. They should be ever changing. We should only know the logic of the world. This forces exploration. It forces us to wander, voyage, and actually experience the environment. And because a bot cannot easily map random shadows or dynamic zones, the value of this material will be great. Farming will be great. It make farming rewarding for real players again. Also, I know that bot can detect the visual aspect of an item or of a node, but we can hide it with some other bushes. We can hide it behind the pillars, behind the trees, behind the mobs. So the nodes can only be shown to us on the minimap, and you have to look using our own eyes to check. Like, I forgot the name of the plant. It's hard to detect. Yeah, plague bloom. For example, plague bloom, the color of the plant is always and most of the time the same color as the earth where it spawns. So it's hard for us to detect it, but the bot can. We can use this technology, but where the bots can't detect it. We can have the same color because if the bots can detect the visual aspect, Blizzard have to change that visual aspect. I don't know how exactly, but change it in a way to counter the bot's detection of the plant of the node or whatever it is. We already see early blueprints of this in retail, where nodes can explode or summon guardians. Classic Plus should lean heavily into this, but with a grittier, dangerous classic twist. If you pick a Fade Leaf, an invisible stalker might ambush you from the shadows. You pick a Grom's Blood, maybe a minor demon might cross the veil to defend it. Gathering a ghost mushroom could trigger a localized poison cloud, or summon a mushroom that attack you, or something like that, forcing you to move. Furthermore, open world mob AI should be linked to the environment. If a pack of gnolls is stationed near a copper vein, they should dynamically patrol around the resource. This breathes life into Azeroth. When we were kids, we believed that the world was alive and ever-changing, because we lacked total data knowledge, like the horses in Arathi, or maybe the night elves patrolling the barns. We didn't see them enough, so we thought it's some special event or something like that. But now, with data that we have, we know they're not dynamic, they're always there, and they have a specialized route that they always go in. But back then, we didn't know that. So those patrols should be dynamic around resources, around the world, around herbs, around chests, around everything. Maybe using modern AI to randomize and defend the world. Blizzard can bring that magical sense of wonder back for humans, while creating a nightmare environment for a script. The next major frontline is raw gold. When bots mindlessly grind mobs for pure silver and gold coins, they inject pure inflation into the server. Classic Plus need to turn off the raw gold faucet, reduce raw coin drops from open world monster, and shift that economic reward into questing and dynamic world event, which are significantly harder for a bot to automate. Instead of coins, monsters should drop lore appropriate material. Take those useless grey wonder items like wolf tooth and turn them into white crafting component. Introduce a massive wave of new blacksmithing, leatherworking, tailoring, any other profession recipes. If a bot want to make money, force them to list this crafting item on an auction house, ideally protected by modern, unobtrusive anti-bot verification CAPTCHA, forcing them to list item into the auction house and listing them there and emptying their bags, going to the banks and stuff like that. It complicates their system and slashes their profit margin. Finally, we have to look at combat AI. Right now, we are fighting 20 years old coding. It makes no sense that a pack of 20 intelligent monsters will willingly stand in a mage blizzard or a paladin consecration until they die. It's not good gameplay. If a group of 3 or more mobs are caught in a massive AoE, their AI should trigger a panic state. The pack leader should shout, "Spread out," causing the mobs to scatter and attempt to flank the player. This single change will revitalize open world combat, make encounters interactive, and instantly dismantle the toxic gold inflating AoE boosting meta. Another idea that I see a lot of people asking for is the season discovery undermine real system. For those who didn't play SOD, Blizzard introduced a system of undermine real looted from dungeon bosses, which is this coin. With that, you can buy crates that effectively injected additional resources into the economy. A lot of people look at that and say, just do that in Classic Plus. Let me show you the boxes. So there are two of them. I'm going to buy two and I'm going to open them in front of you. So this is the damaged undermined supply crates. So you get random materials or consumes. Okay, with this winter squid, it's a consume, but you make another consume with cooking. So, and for the war-torn undermined supply crates, you also get more materials and also Naxxramas materials for your T3. Anyway, I disagree with that. I don't want to find this in Classic Plus. I like to see the Undermine Real to buy other things like item recipes, maybe some, especially like this item, they're only found here. They're not dropped from raid or dungeons. I like to find special item here, random items here, special items that are not found anywhere else, maybe catch-up mechanics here, but resources, I don't want to find that. The reason it worked in Season of Discovery, and it was good in SOD, is because SOD was designed as a temporary seasonal experience. The same argument can be made for TBC Anniversary. It can be good for Anniversary right now. These servers have a limited lifespan. If resources price crash after a few months, it isn't a huge problem because the server itself has a limited future. The TBC right now is fast-paced TBC. People are doing everything fast-paced. They just want to raid. They don't want to pass more time inside of the world. But for Classic Plus, it's different. Most people imagine Classic Plus as a long-term, horizontally progressing world that could last for many years. In that environment, constantly injecting extra resources into the economy is dangerous. If herbs, ore or leather or enchanting materials and other resources become too common, they lose value. When resources lose value, farming loses value. When farming loses value, players stop going into the open world. And once the open world stops being rewarding, players migrate toward the most efficient and predictable form of gold generation. Usually that means instances, dungeon farming, boosting, highly optimized route, things that can be measured down to the minute. The result is an empty world, a world where everyone sits in cities, queue for content, or run the same instances repeatedly because that's where the gold is. To me, that goes against the spirit of Classic. The goal shouldn't be to flood the economy with resources. The goal should be to create a healthy ecosystem where resources remain valuable enough that players actually want to leave the city, explore the world, gather material, and interact with each other. A living world requires valuable resources. A living world requires reason to travel. A living world requires scarcity. Not extreme scarcity, but enough scarcity that gathering and farming remain meaningful activities. That's why I think the long-term solution for Classic Plus isn't simply creating more resources. It's creating a smarter system that distributes resources more naturally while keeping them valuable. Because once open world farming dies, a huge part of what makes an MMORPG feel alive dies with it. Technology has evolved, and the way people abuse games has evolved with it. If Classic Plus is going to succeed long term, Blizzard cannot just replicate the past. They must protect it using the tools of the present, by making resources dynamic, making the world dangerous, and upgrading mob intelligence. We can save the economy and make Azeroth feel alive again. But what do you think? Will dynamic nodes and smarter mob make farming fun again? Or will it ruin the classic vibe? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the future of Classic Plus, make sure to hit that like button. Subscribe for more gold making and economy discussions. And I'll see you all in the next video.